There are stories that connect us to ourselves and to each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. Now, exclusively on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, your hosts, AJ and Natalie.
Yes, it is us, AJ.
And Natalie.
Did I put you on the spot?
Yes,
She
but
did
I am
not
definitely
see that
learning. I
coming.
follow your lead, and yeah, that was a little bit different. It's like, add, here we go.
I'm AJ, and this is Natalie.
That's right.
And when I say AJ, now Natalie knows.
That's
Natalie.
right. I follow behind, and Natalie.
Follow next too.
That is actually true. You have, I do,
There's
for
no
the record,
behind.
you have never made me feel like I am the second place in your show.
Oh, good.
You have always, it's like it's our show and full co-host, walking side by side, and
Hell
it's
yeah.
the best thing.
Good.
Love being here on Wednesday nights with you.
Thank you. I like that you're here,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
love you to pieces.
I love you to pieces too.
Hello, Wanders. Welcome.
And our listeners.
Yes, they're piling in. I love it. I say that every week. They're piling in because at the beginning of the show, they start saying, hello, hello, hello. And I like that. I like when they say, we are here. We are here hanging out with you.
It's like I get to meet my friends on Wednesday night, the show up on Wednesday night.
Yes, it's good stuff. So grateful. So we are Soul Wanderings, and we are heard on KGRA Digital Broadcasting. Please go visit kgradb.com. It's a cool place to be. More about that later. You can also learn about Natalie and myself on soulwanderings.com. And it's there where you can connect to all of our social media pages. Please share, like,
spread it
follow,
around, right?
share the love.
Tell everyone about us so we have more listeners. That's great.
Yeah, more people to help in this world. We are in this together.
We are in it together.
We are in it together. And that seems to be more and more the case with your people. I mean, the world is not in it together, but
yeah,
we are against each other. That's for sure. But let's
is.
bring the love and the good, warm juju in these 2 hours because that's where it's at. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
I am so grateful for that.
Wander with our soul.
Yeah. Yes. 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 How's your week been?
Well, my week's been pretty good. I get to see my mom. My mom travels up to Utah once a year with my sister because my sister has a grandson up here, and it's a big deal when he has a birthday.
Oh, yeah. That's what grandbabies do.
Yeah. He's turning 6. His birthday was on he was born on a Friday the 13th. And so this will be a reoccurrence.
Yes.
And I was telling him today, we were swinging on, he has a swing. Well, he has like this kind of park thing. It's got his tower you can climb on and 3 swings, different swings. And so he calls it his backyard park. And he said, Natalie, will you come with me and play in the backyard park? And I said, usually that means me pushing you. And my sister said, no, he's really good. He does it all by himself now. And I'm like, okay, that's better. Yes, I would.
Yes.
So we were swinging. And he says, like after today and through tomorrow, then it's going to be my birthday.
Just a couple more days.
Just a couple more days. And I said, yes. So 6 years ago, the world tilted. And I had plans to go to a concert, but you were hatched. That's what I say to him. He was hatched. He said, I was not hatched. And I said, look, not everyone gets to be hatched, but you got to be hatched. So it was a big ordeal.
Yes.
It was a lengthy process to get at you.
He's a cute kid. I love the way littles think, right?
Oh,
they have such different terminology and experiences, like their viewpoints are just so different than us adults. We
Oh.
were so conditioned out of that greatness.
Oh, it's so true. And he has this from when he was very little, and I'm sure this is just going to be his whole way through his life, his very fixed way of thinking. And he remembers. He remembers things. So it's interesting to watch the personality, like right from the get-go. The personality seems to be born with them. And there is some effect where you can have from that conversation about nature and nurture, but he definitely has his own set personality, and he's fun.
Yes, our little teachers.
Yes, our little teachers. And then my sister lives out in the desert in Arizona, and she has these massively large desert tortoises that she attempts to keep in a cage. I mean, a backyard big cage, whatever that looks like. But
a fence around a yard.
They do what tortoises do, and occasionally they have a clutch of eggs, and then they get these little tortoises. So she has 4 baby tortoises that are like the size of a palm. Aww. And these are the big desert tortoises that have like spiky arms. I don't know what their name is, the official name, but geez, it's a little tiny, and they all have different spots on the back of their shell.
I love that.
So it's kind of cute. The babies of all creatures do have a little adorable energy about them. So that was my day today, which isn't the bulk of my week, but it was kind of fun.
Good.
And that was a total intuitive sort of, I just had this intuitive, I've been reading some stuff about the intuition. It says, surrender to the intuition, just surrender to it. So I had this impulse. It's like, oh, let's go over and see my mom. I hadn't heard anything about, I do they're in town. And then I'm pulling up to my niece's house, and my mom calls me. And I'm like, hey. She's like, how are you doing? I'm like, well, you want to see me? Just come to the door. She's like, are you here?
Yes.
Right
I'm
on
magical
time.
like that.
Right. Today it worked that
intuition. That's good. That is good. I love that they're up here to visit, so you can be with your family.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And then my little nephew, he came running out of the house as I was leaving, and he says, hey, I just wanted to ask you, can you bring Maven to my birthday party?
Your bird.
Yes. I said yes. I could bring Maven. So I think it's pretty cool, and I think Maven's going to appreciate that she got a very special invitation for just her.
Yes.
To come to the birthday party.
I'm sure she'll be delighted.
I'm sure it's going to be a grand time.
I love Friday the 13th. I'm a 13th baby, so my birthday falls on Friday the 13th occasionally, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. So I'm excited for him.
Yes. He's going to turn 6. 6 years old.
To be 6 again.
To be 6 again, right?
No, thanks.
In kindergarten. It's in kindergarten. I'm in kindergarten now. Okay.
So good.
Yeah. How's your week?
My week's been just like, there's nothing major to report. I did get to go see my lifelong friend and her husband, which has also been a lifelong friend because they met when we were very young. And that was good. We got to spend time together, and I just love those moments. They mean so much to me. Other than that, I got to work. And I love what I do. So it was just a great week. I'm playing catch up.
Well, catch up happens. That also reminds me of my conversation with my mom. So my mom's in her 80s. She's 84. Not that she wants everyone to hear that she's 84. But if I'm going to be 84, I want to be like my mom. So my mom is still working full time. And she said, I think I might shrivel up if I don't work. So
I feel like I will be the exact same way. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to go as long as I can possibly go. Not because I have to, but what else am I going to do?
Well, I have a feeling my mom would work at life just as much as she works at a job, but
Mhm.
the job brings in a paycheck. And
Yeah.
so there's part of that that's like
Helpful.
she keeps going and she walks. She was commenting on how her coworkers will slide the chair from the computer to the printer and
Mhm.
back in the chair. And she's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to walk to my computer that's over there on the wall, and then to where I do my mom is a pharmacy tech. She does mail order for
Oh, cool.
pharmacy, which is kind of ironic because my mom's always been an alternative health lady. Oh, in fact, a little note: my mom and my sister were pulling purslane out of the front lawn to eat. Those that know, the plant that's a weed is also edible. Purslane. So these little things.
The little things.
That was my upbringing.
That's awesome.
It has been actually, it was a really nice foundation. I appreciate that foundation that I had, that learning how to work at a young age.
Yeah. It's important. And it seems to be a long lost art.
Sometimes it's interesting. I've gotten really into dehydrating this year, so I'm putting more things away that from the harvest and appreciating the harvest in a different way. I don't do that every year, but this year it just feels really lovely to have access to local harvest places and then reap from that harvest and stockpile it so that I can have these things in the winter from the local produce. There is something about, if you have local produce, about participating or partaking from local produce places. And we're really blessed because we have
we are surrounded.
Lots and lots of places that still farm. And I was walking through, I went to a U-pick farm today where they just have you go into the fields and pick, and I haven't put a garden in the last couple of years. So it was like, you know what? I have to confess, I actually cried a little because I was like, oh, I miss a garden.
Yeah. I had really great intentions on putting a garden together this year. And life just got in the way.
It does.
And when I realized how busy like I am, I had to realize that, right? And I was like, and I'm going to have a garden. Am I sure I want this kind of commitment? And I decided, no, I'm not doing that this year. I had an herb garden last year. It was easy. This year, not. And I have nothing. I don't even know where the summer, did we have one?
Well, it was a little late start. So it was a little bit on the accelerated.
Yeah, it was a little quick. It just went by really fast.
I know it's October. How could it be October?
I have no idea.
Already.
We have a solar eclipse coming up this Saturday, and it is passing through our state, which is really cool, but it's like 3 hours south of us.
Right.
So we may get a glimpse, maybe. It seems like when there is a solar eclipse, it's not anywhere near us, or it's cloudy or something, right? But that energy, wow, people are feeling it. Seems like everyone's feeling it. There's a group that is on Facebook of different healers and light workers. I'm not a part of it. I was told this by my employee. And she's had a migraine for several days. And she said, everyone on there was asking, has anyone had headaches? Is anyone feeling this way?
Oh, really?
And most people were.
Huh.
The ones that are really sensitive to energy. So there's something going on.
My emotional body has felt something. Fortunately, I'm so grateful that I do not experience near the amount of headaches I used to.
Yeah, thank goodness. They're no fun.
No.
I'm healing from one as of the last few hours. It's going away. Yay.
We celebrate the exit.
I don't talk about the headaches anymore because then I just feel like I manifest more. And they are being less and less in my life. So that's good.
There is definitely a lot of ways to work on having that not be a body condition. But
yes.
Yeah, it took lots of years. I'm really happy that I was patient and I did a lot of healing with my body, reconnecting with my body in different ways. And
Right.
it does pay off.
Yeah. The inside work is very important.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Have you ever been hypnotized before?
Yes.
How did that work out for you? What was your experience like?
There's a few. I used to be really, really. The one thing that just popped right up into my mind when you asked me that was I used to have a fear from childhood that was about wasps, and I don't feel that anymore. That was one thing I got hypnotized about was
That's
wasp.
neat.
And I think in that I did a little bit of past life regression or just some regression.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's the stuff I find interesting.
yeah, not a lot of really amazing things. I really believe that I didn't live. I don't think my past lives. I think my past lives. So I've been a fairly regular person, not royalty or any of those things. I don't have any connection to that. To regular, and so I think that's what that was. Just like connection to myself as a past person. But I do have to say I was just not that I wanted just some things that are going on in the world. I was watching some videos about some of the things going on in the world right now, and I had a flash of like I felt like I'd been through some similar things in previous lives. Some really awful situations where I learned how to live through difficult situations.
Yeah.
That kind of flash that was like, oh, and I cried. I was like, oh, I feel that.
It made a lot of sense to you.
Yeah. So so why do you ask about the hypnosis?
Well, our guest tonight is going to be talking to us about hypnotherapy.
Yes.
I've always found it interesting. I don't know if I've ever been fully hypnotized. I've had several sessions with different practitioners. And I've had one past life regression that I found with one of our past guests. It's interesting. I don't know how to explain my experiences in a way that even makes sense because they don't make sense to me. The past life.
Oh.
The other ones were like very simple hypnotherapy sessions, just overcoming things or breaking habits or something like that. Didn't have success from those. But we do have a couple of hypnotherapists in our space. They do different types of hypnotherapy. I've had a session with one, not the other, but I've heard really great reviews with him as well. I think everyone has their own unique spin on hypnotherapy, even if they're trained similar ways. And I like to see the directions that they go once they start their practice. With our guest tonight, she's gone all different directions. I'm really excited to hear her journey and the work that she does because it's broad. It looks broad. I don't know enough about her. That's why she's going to be on the show. But she also teaches.
My mom gave me a book once. Actually, she sent me a book. It was someone that she knows in her area that lives in Arizona. And I think the book's called How the Pendulum Swings.
I've heard of that book, but I've never read it.
Oh, that's interesting. We'll have to connect on that one, but I've read a portion of it. I get going on a book and then it doesn't finish, but we'll see. I might touch it. I have a mindset to read more books. I want to do less electronic screen time. And I know if I go towards books, because I have a lot of books, that I'll enrich my mind and reduce the screen time, which will be nice.
Yeah, definitely a good plan.
The cats like it because then I appear with a lap or something and then I want to lay on the book.
And they're like, hello there.
They're like, you should pet my head. I'll let you have the book for a minute. So when you were talking about this, when you talk about explaining your experience, I have a little quote that I actually wrote down to bring with me today because this was pretty profound. And I just had the intuitive sense that this would go well with the show tonight.
Wonderful.
I picked up a book. I heard about the Seth channeling or the Seth prophecies or this personality called Seth that was channeled during the 70s and early 80s, because I think the Jane Roberts who channeled Seth, they didn't really call him, she did or didn't call it channeling, but it was like that. She did like Abraham, where Esther Hicks steps aside for Abraham to come through. And so it was in this, I found this book at a local thrift store, and I was really kind of excited to find the books because finding them when they were printed years ago. But this quote said, "Never accept a theory that contradicts your own experiences." So, and given what we talk about all the time, we have so many of our guests that have had a profound personal experience. And I think it was also something in a conversation I'd had with you in the last couple of weeks where someone said, "I don't know about that." You know, where people will cast doubts on your experience, never having something like that. And you're like, "Well, I appreciate your ability to doubt my experience. Thank you very much." But it was mine.
Right. I have a thing about that. I notice that it happens quite often. Not only with that, but with feelings.
Oh, isn't that something?
You can't feel that way. You shouldn't feel that way. Don't feel that way.
Like, "Oh, you know me so well. Tell me about myself."
Yeah. That, or actually telling me how I feel.
Isn't that great?
It's a pet peeve. Like, please don't. Don't do it.
Your hackles start to raise and you smile.
Oh, isn't it nice you know more about me than I know about myself? That's nice.
Isn't it? So I like this. I'm going to write it. Never accept a theory that contradicts your own experiences.
I like that. I'll have to write that one down.
I think it's really good advice in this time of what that we're living through as well, is to know that you can trust, or what you experience, you experience. That's the thing.
Right. That's it. Period.
Right.
The end. That's not up for debate, negotiations, or otherwise. No, nothing like that.
I often tell people that's like, because, I've mentioned this before. I have a lot of work in the grief arena, and I hear so many stories about people that want to give grievers advice, especially when someone has lost their spouse and someone's giving them advice with their spouse standing next to them. You're just like, you don't know.
Right.
But thank you.
Yeah, you can lose a spouse and then even show up in a group like that where someone else has lost their spouse. The experience isn't the same.
No.
I am open to new ideas and interpretations or suggestions. Totally open to that. In fact, some of the best lessons I've ever had have been when someone has pointed out, like, the way I've said something, or the way that I have felt something or had some sort of reaction to an experience. Like, why don't you try to look at it from this perspective? Or why don't you change that word to this word and see how that energy feels? And I like that. Open to that. But when they're like, you should, you need, you are, I'm just like, no, that does not work for me.
You know what you need to do?
And in fact, talk about words and wording. Our guest tonight talks about language.
I am so excited
to
hear all
one
these
of my favorite
things.
things ever, because I even caught myself a few times in the last few shows where I've said something that I don't normally say anymore. Like, that's old talking, old thinking, old patterns of behavior. And for some reason, I said a word or two and I'm like, what is happening? See, we're never fully healed, right? Things still will pop up, but it's having the awareness of when they do to correct that within seconds, within moments, right?
Right.
Shift that energy around completely. So I'm really excited to learn more about that from our guest tonight. I think she's going to teach us a lot, and we all love to learn. That's why we're here. All these listeners, look at you guys having conversation in the background. Thank you. And for all of those who aren't in the chat room, go to KGRA Digital Broadcasting on Facebook or Rumble or live.kgra.com to join in those conversations. Until then, we'll be right back with our guest for this evening.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to Soul Wanderings, heard here on KGRA Digital Broadcasting. I am AJ.
And I am Natalie.
And we are your hosts for Soul Wanderings. Tonight, we get the opportunity to meet with Dr. Kweethai Neill, and she's the founder and president of iHealth Center for Integrative Wellness. Though known primarily as a hypnotherapist, her eye change therapy process also uses feng shui and Chinese energy work. Kweethai is also an author and popular speaker and trainer, focusing heavily on what she terms the language of change. So excited to have you here with us tonight. Welcome.
Thank you. And my name is pronounced as Kwe with a long E, tie around your neck.
Beautiful. Kweethai. I thought I had it.
People see the name and they freak out, and clearly it's a lot easier to say than Natalie or Elizabeth.
Well, it's a beautiful name. Does it have a specific meaning?
Yes. It's funny. My grandfather wanted more sons, I'm the second girl child born in the family. I'm number 5. My parents had 8 children. So my name literally means precious daughter born in the fall. My birthday's in November. Bring us a son. Bring a brother.
Bring a brother.
And of course, I did not bring a brother. My
Oh,
sister was born 4 years later.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a big family.
Yes, and I decided that I shall not change my name. And when I came out to private practice, that's the only name I can call my own. My last name is always some guy's name, either my dad or my husband's, right? So Kweethai is the only name I can call my own. So I branded myself as Dr. Kweethai.
that's lovely.
It is empowering also because that is your name and it's a very unique and beautiful name.
Thank you.
Well, we're delighted to have you here with us this evening. We are familiar with hypnotherapy, but I believe that you're going to teach us quite a bit more than we know because it's more familiarity than anything else. And you just have a wealth of knowledge about you from what I've seen and what has been shared with me. Do you want to share a little bit about yourself, like a short little bio about who you are or anything interesting that you want to start the show off with?
Which lifetime would you like to talk about?
I love that. That's even better.
Well, in this lifetime, I was born 70 years ago. I'll be 71 in a month.
Beautiful.
And I'm very happy to say that because I'm one of 8 children. And 4 of them died before they were 52.
Oh.
So I'm very happy to be old and very privileged to be old.
Yes.
I'm from Malaysia of Chinese descent. I was educated in London, England, UK. I did my first degree in UK, and I became an immigrant wife, married a guy from Ohio, came to this country in 79, and stayed home as a full-time housewife for 16 years in a town so small that my friends in Malaysia couldn't locate it on the map.
Wow.
And then after 16 years, I had to reinvent myself, a marriage that didn't work. And by that time, I also educated myself, went to school, got my PhD, and moved to Texas for my first job in the United States as a university professor.
Wow.
Oh, wow. First job. Like,
Go
way
bigger,
to go.
go home.
And then I was an academic for many years and got to be department chair of health studies at the university in Texas. And then one day realized that I've climbed the wrong mountain and quit my job. Just walked off the mountain without a new job. And my dean said, "Are you mad? Nobody quits a job like this without another job." I said, "Well, I just did."
You took a leap of faith.
That's exactly a leap of faith. And I said, and she said, "My God, what are you going to do?" I said, "I have no idea. I just know very clearly this is not what I want to do."
That takes courage. There are so many people who stay put in places they know they do not belong.
Yeah.
And I know as I share this with many of my students that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is when your soul needs to express something greater than the fear that's in front of you. Courage is when you really want something bad enough, you walk through the fear and you have to get to the other side. And so after I quit my job, and I said, I suppose I should be very scared. But I had a profound sense of peace and clarity that I knew deep in my soul, it was a soulful decision. And I just knew that was the right thing to do. Now, what was I going to do next? God knows. And literally, I use the word God in a very universal sense because it's just 3 letters. You spell it forward or backwards, it's still a very good word.
Right?
So I said, God knows. And I've lived a life of faith ever since, in that I just know when the right things need to be done. Your soul knows it. And speaking as a trained scientist, that really freaks out all my scientist friends.
I can imagine.
That's the most unscientific thing to say. But I said, really, I'm being a real scientist in that in science, we talk about things empirical. We're constantly searching empirical evidence. And the empirical evidence refer to our 5 senses, what we can see, hear, touch, feel, or taste. Except we have a 6th sense that nobody talks about. The sense of insight.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I would tell people, I said, the reason that we don't trust and that we don't have faith is because our eyeballs are placed in the wrong direction.
Like that.
Take a moment and turn your eyeballs around and look inside.
Mm-hmm.
And all the answers you're seeking are there waiting for you to discover.
Very true.
And I can say this today with empirical evidence because I have lived it. You know, when I embarked on hypnotherapy 20 years ago, I based my trust and faith on people who taught me. But I have since discovered and practiced for the last 20 years. I walk in faith. Sometimes people say, what are you going to do for me? I said, I have no idea.
That's what I like.
I said, if you trust me, come let me help you. If you have to question me, you can't afford me because it will take too long for me to teach you. First, let me help you. Then you can be my student later.
Then you can
if
ask
you
me
like
all
what
the
I do, if you actually most of the hypnotherapists I have trained have first been my clients. Many of my students, or if they hadn't been my clients, when they're training with me, they take a protocol of my work to experience it firsthand.
Mm.
And I say, if you don't get your own poop in a group, you can't help your clients.
Very true.
I agree with that 100%.
And what a compliment to have your clients end up being your students.
Many of my clients had become my students. Yeah. And it's very nice to see that they are practicing things that I teach them. Many of my students don't end up becoming hypnotherapists, though. They take what they learn from me to enhance what they do. I have trained many physicians and have trained people from different professions. And not all of them go out and open a practice in hypnotherapy like I have, but they have used what I've taught them in various aspects of their work. Mm-hmm. I have a couple physician students who said, I have never enjoyed the practice of medicine until now.
Oh, yay.
Yay. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of the background in how I launched into hypnotherapy. Is in one of the chapters in my first book. This is the first book I have written. It's called Hypnotherapy, an Alternative Path to Health and Happiness. It talks about how I transitioned from university to my own universe-city. Hi, Joe Fox. I think I know one of your audience member. And so my premise is my academic field is health education. So in one of the new books I've written about why I wanted to become a doctor in the first place, I wanted to be the first female brain surgeon in Malaysia when I was a child, because I took care of my father when he had lung cancer, and I watched him die. At 16, there was no one else to help, and we couldn't afford the hospital or home health care. So I took care of my father.
Wow.
And I gave him the morphine shots, and I would pray for him to die because he was suffering so. And I realized back then, and he smoked Lucky Strikes. And I used to go to the store to buy his cigarettes, and I'll get the dime change that he would give me. And nobody knew that smoking caused cancer. So I watched him die, and I want to spend my life alleviating human suffering. I thought being a physician would do it. Well, as life would have it, life is what happens when we have other plans.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes. And my life has taken many, many sharp turns, as most people's lives have. And so it wasn't meant to be. And then I went to school and went to England, and I did my first degree in food science and management. And then I went back to Malaysia, and I worked in product marketing. And I found that I was selling food processing chemicals, the stuff you put in tons to make tons of sausages and hot dogs and ham and all that stuff. And then I realized there was very little control. And I got interested in food legislation. And the next thing I knew was I was in law school.
Wow.
And then I was young, and my brains were between my legs, and I fell in love and married an American scientist and came to this country. God forbid.
The different paths we take. The different paths.
I mean, there's no gentle path in my life. It wasn't meant to be. And so I came here July 9th of 1979, and I landed in America as a immigrant wife, and came to Hiram, Ohio, and got pregnant with my first child. And after my daughter was born, I couldn't possibly leave her to daycare.
Yeah.
And so I told the husband then, he's not the husband now, he's the husband then, I'm very clear about it. I said, I will eat one meal instead of three. I will not have someone else mind my child. I'm the most qualified person to take care of my baby. So I stayed home for 16 years by choice in a little town. And it's come full circle. I have moved back to Hiram, Ohio a year ago with my husband, now my husband and my best friend of the last 23 years.
Wow.
And the people still know me. It's nice to be back.
I'm sure you're unforgettable.
Well, I don't know about that, but in a good way, I hope.
Well, yes, that's how I meant it.
Yes.
So it's a very interesting roundabout way. And while I was a housewife, I realized that people need to be healthier. And my big platform was unhealthy school lunches. So that became my soapbox. And to know more, I went and did a degree, a Master of Science in Nutrition.
Yeah, our lunches need to change for our children. There's no doubt about that.
And I went to Washington, D.C., to legislation meetings, blah, blah, blah. So this little Chinese person, make a big noise. And then I realized that nutrition alone wasn't enough. So I did a PhD in health. And after that, I realized that other than my friends, my children, my life was very empty. So I had to make a tough choice and go out to reinvent myself. Then I took a job in Texas and became a university professor of health. Mm-hmm. And I was tenured professor at Sam Houston State University. And then I was professor at University of North Texas. And then I became department chair at Texas Women's University. And after all that, I love my students. I love teaching. I love doing research. And I think one thing I like to remark to people, if you want something, don't take no for an answer. No means new options, as far as I'm concerned. So back in the day, I was a housewife. I had no money. And people were telling my husband that, oh, your wife doesn't like to party with us. He had a boat on the lake, and I would always be reading and minding the children while they drank and had parties. And I don't drink alcohol, so I'm no fun at a party. And they were saying, oh, your wife, she's a professional student. And I thought, wow, what a great idea. I'm a very good student. That's one thing I know how to do. I'm an excellent student. I always had good grades in school. So I said, who will pay me to go to school? Because that's the definition of a professional. Somebody pays you to do what you do best. I'm a good student. So with that question in mind, I learned how to write grants. Long story short, I was paid $50,000 to do my doctorate.
Wow.
And I did a research project where I used that money to also fund 2 graduate students to finish their master's degree.
You're such a powerful manifester. Check you out.
I can say yes now because I'm old enough and I have history. The answer is yes, and so can anybody. And that's the message I want to give tonight. What you want, you have to want it bad enough to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
A very simple thing to do is to manifest a parking spot.
It's a good place to start.
How many of us out there have manifested parking spots?
I call that princess parking.
My husband doesn't question. I said, just take one more round, go out there, something will give. Because I'm determined to attend this event and I do not want to walk 2 miles to come to the door. We will park here tonight. Trust me.
I believe you make that happen. I have no doubt.
It happens. So anyway, the progress of finished the PhD, got the job, and I was very successful academic and pretty well known in my circles, presented in conferences, so on and so forth. And then I took the job as department chair, and I realized I've climbed the wrong mountain. This is what not I'm cut out to do. I love my students. I love teaching. What I don't love is to be in middle management, because I've been in corporate management before, where you sit in meetings where you have a lot of responsibility but no authority to make decisions.
Yeah.
And I decided this is a waste of my life to spend a lot of time in meaningless meetings, meaningless to me because it doesn't accomplish anything, and sit around and listen to people make 1,000 excuses to cover their behind. Said,
That's exactly why I left the corporate world. I was like, enough is enough.
Welcome. And one of my students asked me a long time ago and said, Dr. Neill, I was Dr. Neill then, if you struck the lottery, what would you do? And I said, I love teaching. I love the work that I'm doing at the university. I don't love the politics. So if I have lots of money, if I don't like the school, I'll just buy it.
You should buy the place where you can hold the school.
Well, actually, I did.
I was going to say, you did that, didn't you?
I started my own school. And at my school, when I did the clinical hypnotherapy school, I was the most expensive school. I was the toughest school. And I demanded the longest face-to-face training hours. And people said, how are you going to get students? I said, if they're meant to be my students, they will show. And I interview them an hour before I accept them. Just because you can write the check doesn't mean I have to take you. Because I have to invest my life's energy into nurturing you. You're more than a student. When I accept you, I will hold you in my healing space as well. Because you can't help other people heal unless you get your own poop in your group. That's a phrase I borrowed from a dear friend of mine. You've got to get your own poop in a group. And so I did the training, and then I realized that the 300 hours that I required, I spent at least 200 hours doing therapy work on my students. Because if you don't get your stuff together, you can't help your clients.
It's very true.
So real.
We see that so often. I own a healing center. Natalie shares space there with me. And I cannot tell you how many practitioners come in who did like a weekend certification, maybe a week, and they're a mess. You can feel it, you can see it, and they want to work on other people. And I just think that's very messy and very irresponsible.
You should pay your clients for letting you practice on them.
Definitely in the early years.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And so that's why I had been in this business for 20 years, almost 20 years now, and I've been very actively presenting in different conferences. Then I realized that many people who are certified don't have the confidence to practice. And I congratulate those people because it tells me they're moral and they're ethical. Because they know they're not competent.
Right.
And it would be unethical to charge money for what you cannot do. So I said, good. I can help you. If you want to do better, I can teach you because I'm good at what I do.
Yeah, it's apparent.
Thank you.
Everything that I've seen or read, you have rave reviews on the work that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so I realized that one day I was doing a luncheon keynote, and I said, everybody stand up, please. All those people who are not doing this full time, please sit down. Boom, half the room sat down. And I said, are you all certified? Yeah. So why are you not practicing? Oh, we are just, what do they call that? They practice on weekend. They're part-time practitioners. They're just so I say you're just dipping your toe in the water when you want to learn how to swim. Right? If you're my students, I would have pushed you into the pool already.
How else do you learn?
Yeah, you can't try.
Dive right in.
Business trying is lying. You do it or you don't do it. And it's partly my language of change. I'm very precise with my language. And so then I'm looking at a time because I stop me anytime because I can talk for 5 days.
We love that. We love getting to know our guests. Yeah. We will have to stop in just a couple of minutes for a break.
I'm so glad I tuned in a little bit early because when it's a new platform in technology I'm not familiar with, I have my husband who's my director of technology. I want to make sure everything is set up and not try to do it last minute when we're on the air. And I had a chance to listen into your conversation about people telling you how you should feel and all that. Ask me that question again, right? So let me just carry through the thread that I was talking about. That then very soon, and then I said, of those remaining, if you're practicing full time, how many of you are actually making a living? If you're not, please sit down. And very soon there were only a handful of people standing up, including me. And I said, of the people standing up, how many are making a 6-figure income? I was the only one standing. I said, there's something wrong with this picture. You've spent if you had spent a lot of time training, do you know how many hours and how much it cost for me to do my PhD? Right? Yeah, or we go to a physician. Do you know how much up to their eyeballs they're in student debt, and the number of years they spend? And you think if you spend 2 weekend seminars, you're going to be able to do what other people are charging so much money to do? I said that is a wrong picture. I said we have to first determine that only competence can breed confidence.
Mm.
And if you're not feeling confident enough to charge for a competent fee, it's a good thing because we can remedy that. We can help you get the training you need to be the practitioner you hope to be. So then I realized there is something wrong. And also, I think I'm one of few schools that during the training, I also have a business training. Now, we are from, who is Natalie and who is AJ?
I'm Natalie.
You're Natalie. And AJ, you're from the corporate world. And the transition is you have to learn something about business to be in the corporate world. And many people who are practitioners don't know much about business.
Mm-hmm.
So the following year, I wrote this book. It's called How to Build a Six-Figure Hypnotherapy Practice, because it's doable. And now I should revise it. In fact, in Chicago, I'll be talking about how to be a seven-figure, a millionaire as a hypnotherapist, because I'm there. And
congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. And everybody can do that. Everybody can do that. It just takes good design, planning, and execution, right? Corporate world will know those names, right? But I think one thing I tell people who take a short training and expect to jump right in and voila, you are a successful hypnotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't work that way. You have to pay your dues. You have to first acquire the skills. If you're going to charge, you can't be making $20 an hour now and then take a 5-week training and jump into making $150
right
an hour.
That's a red flag.
That's
true.
That way.
I'm gonna pause this right here so we can take our top of the hour break. But the second hour is completely commercial free, and we'll get the opportunity to continue wandering with you. We'll be right back.
All right.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected. Only at kgradb.com.
Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back. We are Soul Wanderings, and I am AJ.
I am Natalie.
And you can hear us on KGRA Digital Broadcasting. If you visit the shows and host button, go over to Wednesday, scroll down to the bottom to Soul Wanderings. That's where you'll have the opportunity to learn more about myself and Natalie, or Natalie and myself.
Either way.
Natalie and I. English. Okay. But go over there. At the top of the page, you'll be able to click on a subscribe now button, which will allow you to receive 30% off your annual or monthly subscription if you choose to support the station and our show. That way you can hear all the past shows for the last 7 years and also get a free bundle. No credit card required. There's lots of good things behind the scenes. So if I were you, I would take advantage of that special offer now. Do it now. If you want to know, our promo code is Wander. If you just want to head over to kgradb.com and subscribe right away. Tonight, we are hanging out with a beautiful guest who has a fantastic sense of humor. Love that. Dr. Kweethai Neill. And she goes by Dr. Kweethai. Is that correct?
Perfect.
Okay, wonderful. I want to make sure I say your name right. It is such a beautiful name. I've never heard it before. I love unique names.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
The first part of our show, we had the opportunity to hear about your past in Cliff Notes, and you took a leap of faith to do something now that you're super passionate about. We love the journey. It's a beautiful one. So what was the catalyst for you to take that leap of faith, and why was it hypnotherapy? What drew you in that direction?
Well, it's interesting. Actually, my card doesn't say president or founder. It says chief catalyst for change.
Oh.
That's my title.
Great title.
Well, thank you. Actually, I had a publicist study my work and present to me what she thought I was. And she came up with two names, and one of them was Chief Catalyst for Change. I said, I buy that. I actually bought that.
Yeah.
I like that. Being a recovered scientist, it makes a lot of sense.
I like that recovered scientist.
I was just about to say a recovered scientist.
Not recovering, but I'm a recovered scientist, a recovered academic. And say your question again.
What was the catalyst what pulled you in the direction of hypnotherapy?
Well, I didn't pull. So I quit my job and I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do next? But my very dear husband, when I came home, I said, are you sitting down? I just walked away from my job.
You're like, I just decided I was done.
I just walked off the mountain, climbed to the top of the mountain. And, he has such faith and trust in me. And he said, okay, I'm sure you have better ideas. I said, not tonight.
I'll have to sleep on this one.
Yeah, so I did not find hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy found me. And because I had relinquished certain positions at the university, and that one particular weekend, I was supposed to be heading a conference, but since I was no longer department chair or principal investigator of my grant, so I didn't have to host the meeting. I had the weekend free, and in parallel, I've been studying feng shui and energy work out of personal curiosity. And my dowsing instructor was doing a talk in a dowsing conference I take it you know what dowsing is. Okay, like get two sticks.
The dowsing rod.
Look,
Yes,
Finding
exactly.
water.
Yeah.
water, you find water, you can find gold, you can find money, I find energies. So he was there, and I said, well, I think I'll go there and support him. So I went, and I just had a blast of a time because some of these presenters were civil engineers. And I said, oh, I thought I quit the world of science and I walked right into a new science. That was fascinating. I didn't have to wear a suit. I went in jeans. Nobody knew me. I wasn't presenting. Oh, this is too cool. I love it. And so he was staying at somebody's house. I went to pick him up one day, and I met this lady who was a hypnotherapist. And I said, a hypno what? I didn't even know if there was such a thing. And I was fascinated. And the conversations led me next thing to jump into 300-hour training in hypnotherapy. Loved it. The first book I read was written by Gil Boyne. It was not really a written book. It was a transcription of some of his sessions. And I found it fascinating. And I said, that's it. That was it. You know how sometimes when you find something and you know it's just right, just like buying a pair of shoes, you stick your foot in it and you say, that's it. I don't want any other pair. I want this pair or no pair.
Yes.
And that it felt right. And so 2 weeks before I took my certification test, I bought my office building. I literally bought my office building. And this is where the beginning of the walk in faith started. So I was paying the mortgage, writing the check, and I said, oh gosh, in another month we will only be living on one paycheck, which was fine because we were very modest people. And I had a conversation with God, and I said, wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to pay a mortgage anymore?
Yes.
Would be nice.
That message went out to the universe, and God responded. Somewhere in one of my books, I write, God responds faster than FedEx. FedEx takes 24 hours. This thing is like that. So that evening, I was watching CNBC. I very rarely watch the financial news. First, I didn't have much money to worry about. And secondly, it really didn't interest me. I was an academic. I was a scholar. I got enough to eat. I'm happy, right? That year, in that time, there was suddenly a rally in the stock market. And I had some money invested in mutual funds. And I looked at it and bing, this thing came to my head. And I said, oh my gosh, if it keeps rising, I might have enough money to pay off this mortgage. So now I'm watching CNBC every day. And the market kept going up. So I think that day must have been a Wednesday. Get to Friday, it kept going up. At the end of Bell Friday, the market started to soften. And I go, darn. So Monday comes around. I said, oh God, please, I will not be greedy. I'm going to sell today. And I'm going to, because it's a mutual fund, you have to wait till closing bell for the price. So I called every mutual fund company I owned. And I think one of them said, ma'am, why do you want to sell? The market is doing really well. And I said, good, I hope this is a recorded line. I said, ma'am, I am selling because I am investing in me. And there was a silent pause at the other end. And the woman said, that is so powerful.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely
I said, what was powerful? She said you are selling today to invest in you. That's a very powerful statement. And I thought about it. I didn't even think because it was just an honest answer. And I said, that's right. So at the end of closing bell that day, it hit the highest in that few days I was watching since Wednesday. And I did get enough money and paid off the mortgage. And from that day onward, I did not have a mortgage.
Where
Now,
there's a will, there's a way.
what is really magical, that was just the beginning of the fact that the path that was presented to me that I took was a soulful passage, because right after I finished my certification process, my choir director asked me to feng shui his new apartment. So we went to his apartment to feng shui, and I passed this block of professional offices. At the second to the last, there was a unit with a for sale sign in front of it. And I said, Casey, drive over there. And he goes, what? I said, there's something for sale I'm interested in. It's a perfect office. It's next to the dentist, next to the doctor, and it's all professional offices, just right, 1,200 square feet. So I called the realtor. And the next thing I knew was I bought that building. And because I have no mortgage, I called my banker. I said, hey, Zach, float me a home equity loan. And I got a home equity loan, and I paid cash for my office.
Smart.
And put my sign up. And that was not knowing where my next paycheck's going to come. All of a sudden, I own this office block, and I'm onto a new career. Got a big sign out. It's called I Health, because the word I is an integer. I'm talking about integrating the person to be a whole person. That's another story for another day. You can read that on the website. But so now I'm new. I have no idea where it's coming from. So one day I was sitting in my office, all beautifully painted by my dear husband, a beautiful office. And I'm sitting there, I've got this crystal hanging over my desk, and I'm looking at a blank calendar. Ever seen one of those? My appointment.
A long time ago.
Right.
Right? Anyone who's ever started a business, if you've never seen a blank book, I can remedy that, right? So there was this blank book, and I'm sitting there and I'm contemplating and looking at the crystal. I said, oh God, please give me a sign that this is the right thing I'm doing, because I've got this building, I'm sitting here, and I don't know where I'm going to find the money to pay my electric bill.
But you were walking on faith that entire time, and everything was working out, yet you still had a concern of how that was going to take place.
Well, I think that's a part of me that's human. The other 98% is being. I've got a 2% of human that pops up once in a while.
Oh yeah. We're human.
Now, this is the part where I say God delivers faster than FedEx. Not more than an hour after I had that conversation with God, the phone rang. And somebody said, Dr. Neill, I came from Arizona to defend my doctoral dissertation, and I heard from the people at the university that you're a hypnotherapist. I need your help. I need you to help me focus to do my dissertation defense. And I thought, wow. I said, where are you? She says, I'm staying in a hotel across the highway from your office. And I said, I didn't want to sound too eager. I said, hold on a minute. Let me rearrange something. I took my mug from one end of my desk to the other. I rearranged something. Then I said, I said, it's 10 o'clock now. I said, I can see you at 3 o'clock if you can get yourself here. I rearranged something. And that was my client. And I don't advertise. I have had but a few advertisement experiences, and that's another story for another day, because there was one where I got scammed $2,400. I called that one long day at the School of Business.
That would be a long day.
Yeah. And beware of those things. And so all my clients, people say, how do you market? Where do you get all your clients? I said, if I told you, you won't believe me, but if you do believe me, it will work for you also. I say, God sends them to me.
Mhm.
Every time I don't stack people, I don't see two people in the same day. When I'm finished with a case, I work one case at a time. When I'm finished with a case, I might take a day or two off or do nothing but sit and read. And then I'll say, okay, God, I'm ready for the next one. And the phone will ring. Or I get an email from someone from some place I don't even know how to pronounce the name sometimes. It's a magical journey. And I tell clients, I said, hypnotherapy is not magic, but it is magical. Because when something is magic, it seems like it's extraordinary.
Mhm.
It's outside of your day to day. It's uncommon. It's something you've never seen before. It's like, who would have thunk? All I have to do is have a chat with God and the phone rings. Are you insane? All my scientist friends say, you must be mad. Right?
You're
I
just
am not mad. I'm just unusual.
I think the way that you are able to have so much faith and also manifest the way that you do is super powerful. But also, we all have that ability.
Oh, yes. Everybody does.
What differing I can't say
What differentiates you?
Thank you. I have a beautiful stutter at night.
You are beautiful.
She is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes.
I get to embrace
What differentiates me from
No, how is it easy? I wouldn't say it's easy, okay? Maybe that's not the right terminology, but some people, they do all this work, they do all of this healing, yet somewhere they're stuck along the way. So, how has it come so, for lack of better words, easy for you today to be able to just walk in faith the way that you do and have things manifest as they are for you?
When I was 17 in high school, I wrote an essay called Faith Begins When Reason Ends. And God help me, I don't remember exactly what I wrote. I don't even remember what I did write, but I do remember the title of the essay.
Remember the title.
Right. So I think I truly believe the one single thing that stops us from being the best we can be. Are you ready for it? Don't censor me. It is a 4-letter F word, and it spells FEAR.
I have another 4-letter F word for you.
Yeah.
FACT.
Yes.
Fact. That's a fact.
Good. It is. Because I've been called many things. Fearless is one of them. I decided in January of 1995, when I had to leave my children to go to Texas, I drove out in 4 inches of snow. And I made a promise to myself, I shall never be angry again in this lifetime. I will not be angry again. I was one raging angry woman for a very long time. Because I've discovered, and this is the magic I want to leave with all your listeners, that anger is fear. Anger is fear. In my yellow book on page 70, I have a diagram that I use it to help all of my clients, and you feel free to copy it with my permission, to explain to you how fear works in your life. And a simple theory is and this is I'm shortcutting everything to talk about Chinese energy medicine. We believe that you have this physical body and you have an energy body, which we call qi. The bigger and it stays inside, and it emanates outside of your physical body. It is an elliptical electromagnetic force that is palpable, and I would actually use dowsing rods to show you the extent of this energy bubble you carry with you. And the healthier you are, the bigger the bubble. For example, if you go to a lecture of a very charismatic person speaking, and you may be 200 feet away from the stage, but you feel as if she's speaking just to you. You can palpate that energy, right? Or you can sometimes meet somebody, shake hands with him for the first time, you get, ew, the guy gives me the vibes. And that's because, in my word, he's a cheese sucker.
Yep.
Right? And
Oh my goodness.
you've been in corporate world, ever been in a meeting and you walk away, nobody's ever even touched you. You sat in your own space, you walk away and you feel like somebody sucked all the energy out of you because you just sat in a room of cheese suckers. Right? So we talk about how it's so important for us to maintain your chi. In Chinese, when you die, the word for death is you lost your chi, or you're cut off from your chi. Tun hei means you have no more chi. So if I were to take my dowsing rods to a hospital to work with somebody in a coma, the energy bubble will be very close to the physical body. And when it disappears, you expire. And so in demonstration, I will show you how you can expand your energy field. You can do it right now sitting where you sit, right? If you take a deep breath and set the intention, I'm going to send love to everyone, and I'm doing it now. I'm going to send love to everyone tuned into this conversation at this moment, or at any other moment if you were listening to a recording. If you feel my voice right now, feel that I am embracing you and giving you a big warm hug. And if you have troubles, put that in my hand now, and I will take it away for you. It's free tonight. When you come to my office, you have to pay for it.
Thank you for that gift.
Yes. Beautiful gift.
Yes. And so, everybody's capable of doing it. It's really cool when I show it to you in the dowsing rod, how you can change your energy field. And I use it to measure the blockages in your chakras, and I can tell you the story of your life. And people come see me, I said, you fill in the forms, blah, blah, blah. And I said, all right, don't talk anymore. Let my dowsing rods evaluate you, and let me translate what my dowsing rods are telling me. And then you tell me which part of these things I'm telling you do you resonate with. And they're like, whoa, you just told me the story of my life. I said, I didn't, you did. Because you told me the story of your life through the dowsing rods. I'm just interpreting what they say. And from there, we work on getting your energies cleared. And it's the fastest, most effective way. So the I Change therapy work that I have finally put in a book came from the 20 years of practice, where I say doing hypnosis alone is great, but most people, the clinical hypnosis part, you bypass your critical factor and you dive right into your subconscious and you clean up. I call dumpster diving. You go and you clean up all your emotional garbage.
Yes.
And then you come back. Okay, that's great. But what are you going to do next? People come to see you because they have made a lifetime of cumulative mistakes. And they make the mistakes because they didn't know how to make choices in their lives that are beneficial to their souls. But if you didn't know what you didn't know, it doesn't matter how old you are, you still don't know.
True.
So the hypnosis can get you out of your funk, but you don't have the life skills to sustain it. So I realized that alone is not enough. Okay, so I got over that drama, that trauma. But I don't know how to navigate the world still. So then I realized that people need a new language skill to learn how to speak up and learn how to speak out and not be afraid. When I detect a throat chakra blockage, it's because the individual does not speak up, does not speak out. So how many times have you ever said yes when all you wanted to say, not only no, but hell no, I'm not going with you. And yet you find yourself in the car going along doing something you absolutely would rather go get a root canal than do, but still.
I don't do that anymore, but that used to be a thing, yes.
Well, that is still in epidemic proportions for most people who are suffering emotional challenges. And they don't speak up because why? Because they're scared. So we in my book, in that little diagram, I describe fear in little black clouds. So when you have a little bit of fear and you don't know this little bubble floats around in your consciousness, and then somebody comes along and you snap, it's like, gosh, I have one last nerve and you just stepped on it. They scream at you, has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, everybody has fear, but you don't know how to mitigate your fear. And you respond to that fear inappropriately. I say, if you are scared and you scream at people, you can get the risk of having your face rearranged. It's a pretty scary thing.
That's true.
So anger is one little bubble of fear, and you don't know when it's going to come out, when the snakes are going to fall out of your mouth. Then if you don't resolve that, you're going to accumulate little bubbles of fear all over. And you walk around day by day as if you're walking on eggshells. I call that anxiety. It has nothing to do with the psychologist, psychiatrist. This is Kweethai's little nomenclature. The anxiety that I talk about feels like you have ants biting you. You have an itch somewhere, but you just don't know how to scratch it or where to scratch it. Ever feel that way? That's, to me, is a sense of anxiety. Now, if you don't resolve that and you get more and more, now more and more fear accumulates. That's what I call depression. Depression is a continuum. On the one end, you may feel totally despondent. Cover yourself in a blanket. I don't want to see the world. Or on the other hand, the super worker. I once had a client who was a nurse who works 3 shifts because she doesn't want to be alone or face her life. So either way is avoidance of existence. That's what I call depression, where more days in a week than not, you feel that way. But even so, there might be some days where the sun shines through. So I have all these clouds, but there are holes in them that sunshine can, not every day is a bad day, but more bad days than good days. Then you get so bad to a point where all the holes are closed with these dark clouds and sun doesn't come through. Every day you're just in one black hole. That's what I call despair. When a person has so much fear and in such despair, these are the people who would come with a gun and fire at random at strangers because they are so scared and there is no way to relieve themselves, that they want to destroy everything around them and themselves. And that is a very sad state of affairs when we want to go into despair and self-destruction. Mm-hmm. So my work, you can give me a name. Sometimes I call myself, I'm the fear buster. If I can help you transmute all these fear energies, however part of the continuum in that picture that I draw. Usually I would, after I explain, I'll give the client a red pen. I say, mark where you are. They know exactly where they are. And I'll draw a line and put the date and the time. And after a session, I ask them, look at this picture now. Where are you? And they'll be able to do that. And my job is they get to a point when they say, I don't belong in that box anymore. Then I say, well, you're done here. Go home, live long and prosper. Right? Stop. And so this whole business of hypnotherapy for me is to help somebody transmute that energy of fear wherever they are, from anger to despair, to self-love. Now, first law of physics, you cannot create nor destroy energy. You can only transmute energy. Mm-hmm. So we can't say, oh, and your friend said, oh, you shouldn't feel that way. Let me take that depression out of you. I said, you're talking utter rubbish because it's not possible. Mm-hmm. The only person who can change how you feel is you. And so I would help the person take that energy of fear and turn it around. I said, you have the same energy I have. You've just put it in the wrong parking lot.
I like that.
Right? It's the polarity. It's the wrong polarity. For instance, a person come in and say, I need you to help me get more confidence. I have to give this speech. I said, well, you have lots of confidence. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Well, I said, you have so much confidence into believing that you're going to bomb this speech that I guarantee that you would. Now, how about if we turn it around and say, I can do this rather than I cannot do this? All you have to do is strike out the word not. Simple. Not easy, but simple. And so this is all about energy. So it makes just perfect sense to me to integrate energy medicine into this process. But before I even get there, I got you out of your funk with clinical hypnosis, dumpster dive, do whatever you have to do in your emotional bridge of change. Now you are the new model, right? Natalie 2.0, AJ 2.0, right? But how are we going to reinvent the 2.0? Do you know what you want to be? We know you don't want to go back there. That old self, that old corporate self you didn't like, we're not going back there. But do you know who you are today and how you go forward? So that is the process. I switched to coaching. Now, after the first protocol, if you want to proceed, I would start training you. I would do coaching, and the coaching will switch it back and forth to therapy when necessary. But basically, I'm going to teach you new language skills, new way of making choices, and new way of saying what you want and what you don't want. And when you get to advanced level in my I Change therapy training, the language training, you will be able to get what you want, and people would think it's their idea.
Little do they know.
And they say, what a great idea. Congratulations. But you've already funneled them into telling you what you want them to tell you.
Oh my goodness.
That's a higher level, advanced level training. But then after that, so you change yourself by doing the clinical hypnosis, get rid of your garbage. Then you learn new skills when yes means yes and no means no. And there's a whole class where I talk about what you ladies talk about earlier in the evening when friends say, oh, you shouldn't feel this way and you should feel that way. And my response, you want to hear what my response is?
Yes.
Okay, one of you pretend to tell me. Go ahead, let's role play.
Natalie's good at this.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you actually are not capable of knowing what you want. So you can't know what you want. That's not really possible.
Natalie, how are your hemorrhoids today?
Well, they are better than years ago.
Well, happy for you. But I don't think you know the extent of your hemorrhoids because you're being a real pain in the you know where.
Oh my God.
She can't.
That,
Well,
you
it
know,
has
you
to
did
be
that with a
fast.
straight face.
Huh?
She's done this before.
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing. It has to roll. It has listen. It has to roll off your tongue, like
Yes.
you say chocolate cake. Say chocolate
Oh,
cake.
yes.
Say chocolate cake,
Chocolate cake.
and say how are your hemorrhoids?
How are your hemorrhoids? I'm pretty sure I could actually pull that line off.
Well, you can invoke Dr. Kweethai. My students will say, if I
Okay.
find difficulty, I close my eyes, I see your face, and I
Good.
do it.
I'm going to channel Kweethai.
I
Dr.
was going
Kweethai
to.
is going to be.
You're going to use
Right.
that in one of your
I
groups.
am going to.
She's going to
Yeah.
use that in one of her groups.
Because I tell you the strategy. What the two of you would have responded is like you try to, okay, how would you have responded if your friend said you shouldn't feel that way? Or it seems like you don't know what you're feeling.
Oh, that's yours.
Well, because I'm kind of sassy, so I would say, don't tell me how I feel.
Okay. You are
Don't tell me
already,
how I feel.
yeah, you're already sparring, right? You're already starting to spar or get defensive because you feel.
I
you
think I
feel
used to
someone.
feel defensive for sure.
Yeah, because
Now I
you
just
feel
am
like-
short. I'm just like, I don't have time for this.
Right. Here are a couple responses because, first of all, you need to recognize how you feel. How do you feel when your friend patronizes you like that?
Annoyed.
Annoyed. Annoyance is fear,
Definitely.
right? And what are you afraid of?
I hypothetically, I could just say something like maybe because they're right.
Okay. You're afraid of something, right? What would you be afraid of, Natalie? Because this is the best lesson of the evening.
So one of the things that I could be afraid of is that people wouldn't like me. There's that aspect that there may be a barrier between people
So
and I.
you're getting warmer. So a person's worst fear, man or woman, humankind's worst fear is the fear of not being good enough. You fear that they will reject you because they will think poorly of you.
Interesting.
That's the fear, right?
Yes.
Is what my bad country western song. If my friend doesn't like me, she will not friend me anymore. She would she would reject me, and I will be a friendless person, and nobody wants to be my friend, and I'll be left alone because I'm unlovable. I'm not good enough. That's the bottom of the well. Try this in the next few days. No matter what it is, if you're annoyed, you go around, and it doesn't matter how many loops you go. It comes right back to the fear of not being good enough.
I'm going to have to dive deep on that one. I'm not sure if I resonate with that.
What about the not being lovable?
Pardon? The bad country western song is this. My friends will leave me. I'll lose my house. I'll lose my dog. I'll lose my car. I'll lose my truck. I'll lose my whiskey. And I'll be the homeless man in the street.
Be a bag lady.
Except a bad lady in the street, except that, trust me, this happens in nanoseconds. You do not have time to think. It's a subconscious response. Anytime you feel that you need to defend yourself or raise your voice is because you feel that they are challenging your self-worth. The only way to combat that is to dive inside and get into the center of your soul and say, I know I'm good enough. God knows I'm good enough. And you learn to trust that. And I'm enough. Whether you like me or not, I know who I am. And to stay steadfast in that place takes a lot of self-cultivation and meditation. And I don't have to argue with you, right? A long time ago, when I was the only female executive in the firm, I had to challenge them to hire me because they advertised for a man. You can do that in 1976 in Malaysia, trust me.
Mm.
And I was tired of looking for a job. So I called. I said, I didn't want to write in because I know they won't look at me because I'm a woman. So I called and I said, listen, I'm responding to the ad in the national paper. I have all the qualifications that you're looking for. And by the way, I can wear trousers to work as well. If you're looking for biology, I can't help you. But if you're looking at the person who can do a good job, you're talking to her.
Just brings that confidence.
I had to go through 5 rounds of interview to get that job. But it's because if we don't fight for what we want, we'll never get there. If you don't ask, you don't get. I mean, I was prepared to go back to graduate school because I couldn't find a job. Right?
Be a professional student again.
Right. That was the time when I was not a professional student. I had family support. But after I got married, I had to support myself. Then I had to find other means of financial support if I wanted to go to school. When I went to grad school, I was already married. And I can't go back to family and say, hey, can you support me? Right. So, yeah. And so how we say what we say is important. And so don't say maybe. Maybe is one word you delete. I have I would get a client to say, okay, turn the book upside down. I give every client a notebook. And I said, now, you start the book this way, right? Turn it back, start it this way. And I give them tabs. I said, this is a section for delete words. Every now and then I'll say, stop, write this down, put a red line through it. And I always have color pencils over my office. And one word that's good to delete is actually not one word, but all the ambiguous words. Ambiguity leads to more ambiguity. Hey, do you want to come to the party tonight? What's your response? And you know, Johnny is coming. Oh God, I'd rather be caught dead than just be sitting next to him. So what do you say? Maybe.
That's right.
Right?
Depends on
So maybe doesn't tell me anything. So if I ask you to come to my party tonight and you say maybe, you know what I'll say in response? I take that to be a no. I won't save a seat for you. I don't want to save a $100 plate dinner for a maybe.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
So I said, is that a yes or is that a no? I asked for clarification. Would that be a yes or would that be a no? Do you want the tea or do you want the coffee? I don't know. I said, imagine if you did know, what would it be?
So these elimination of ambiguity is what you are working and coaching with clients to get them to the level of confidence that's necessary to get to that.
Right. I think confidence also comes from a degree of clarity when you're making a choice. Mm-hmm. Do I want the pink? Do I want the pink or do I want the blue? If you maybe you're going to get lavender.
There is a lot of benefit in learning to choose.
Yes.
And there's so much fear in decision making. I have encountered with my clients that decision making does bring up fear in people. So many different fears to make a decision, even if it's that simple decision.
Oh yeah. I had a client who came to me because of that. And then I said, I have 2 notebooks. Would you like this one?
Look at her go. My kind of coach.
It's very funny. It's just like somebody said, I have dyslexia. And I said, how do you spell that word?
Laughter is the best medicine.
That's lovely.
Right. And I
Greatest
think
healer.
hypnotherapy is, to do it well, you have to do it intuitively. You have to deal with what emerges. I teach my clients how to write a script. I said, now you will destroy this script. And if you ever read a script to your clients, I will come and beat you with a pool noodle. And I always have a pool noodle in my classroom. See, it's a lot of fun. I truly
She's
believe
a manifester.
I do believe that she is really, there's a lot of clues about manifestation.
Do you know your human design type by chance?
Have you ever heard of the human design?
No, I don't think I'm human. My husband always say you're not normal.
I'm pretty sure she's a manifester.
Yeah, I would think so.
What is
I
that?
feel like there's the science of differentiation, and it is based on your birth info. It's called the human design system. And within that, they talk about 4 different auric types, and manifestors about only 9% of the global population.
Oh, okay.
And that's what we're guessing that would be your auric type. If we could see your aura, it would probably be a manifestor aura.
Well, yeah, but I've done a lot of different tests and whatnot. I always test off the scale because I'm not normal.
No, actually, I could see that. There's not, most people that you're around would not be like you.
It's kind of scary to people because I'm a multitasker. I do many things at the same time. I get a lot done in a very short time. And I'm a very quick problem solver. Because I can walk into a situation. It takes me but a minute or two. I assess the situation. I know exactly where the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me many years to acknowledge that it's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
I thought everybody did that.
No. Plus, you have the ability to gain clarity like super quick.
Yes, and I zoom in, and many people, sometimes it drives the teachers crazy because there are many people who are very sequential. They have to go step by step by step by step. I can walk in a room, I can start A, and I can get zoom to the end and skip all these steps. And there are people who are like, hey, you break all the rules you're supposed to do. But I said, I already solved the problem. What's your problem?
Well, that would make sense to you now, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The vast majority of people actually are not able to skip the steps you can. I just have to tell you that there's a lot of people, they can be trained in a particular way, but they do get there step by step by step. And you are able to see aspects that they can assist in helping them eliminate those particular hangups and obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, I think it's also higher level learning. We learn, you look at the hierarchy of learning, you go from knowledge. Yeah, you go all the way up to synthesis.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we learn many different buckets of basics. In order to get to synthesis, you have to go through all this level. Just like tonight, I was watching an interview of Yo-Yo Ma on PBS.
Oh.
And, he's such a genius musician. And he talks about the music, which I'm not a musician. I just am a good patron of the arts. My husband is a musician. But to listen to the richness of verbal language to articulate music, to me, that's genius. To be able to describe music in words.
Mm.
And then to be able to listen to music and then turn it into narrative. Mm-hmm. That's a kind of skill that's, I don't know how to teach something like that. You have to have some kind of innate propensity of talent or gift to be able to do that. Now, in hypnotherapy, I've seen many different schools. I've studied under many illustrious teachers. I've also studied under many teachers who are not so illustrious. You know, you learn two things. You learn what to do, and you also learn what not to do from different teachers. And there are people at the beginning level, if you can see that some practitioners are at whatever level. Some they will go very rote protocol. I have to do this ABC type of induction, and they'll go step by step by step. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like a pianist. In order to do jazz and improvise, you've got to be very good with your scales. You've got to learn your basics before you can go and be a jazz musician. And so we see in our profession, there is such a myriad levels of practice. And for every level, there's always something good to come out of it. Don't berate people who are in first grade when you're already doing calculus, right? So, but it's good to encourage people to expand their skills and also to not be afraid to put themselves in it. When I'm doing training with my students, I say, God forbid, I'm not trying to recreate a bunch of little Dr. Kweethais. Please, I want all of you to take what I share with you to become bigger and better than I can ever imagine myself to be. And I would be so proud to sit here and applaud you and to know in some small way I have been a thread in the fabric of your success. I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me. And that to me is my joy as a teacher, is to watch my students do better than me.
So I think that's a very clear sign to us and those you surround yourself with, clients or students, that you're exactly where you're meant to be. You really are. Not everyone is as passionate about what they're doing. And I think that is a very clear sign that you are doing good work. You're passionate about it. You love it. In fact,
and the money will come. Folks, don't just dive in just because I want it. Don't start counting your money. It's just like if you're a good gambler at the table, don't start counting your chips when you're still in the game.
So true.
It's very true. It's very true. We're running short on time. I want to make sure that everyone knows how to get in touch with you, but also share your next visit. You'll be attending the Mid-America Hypnosis Conference. You want to share quickly a little bit about that?
Yes, and that will be in Chicago, I think on the 20th. Oh, thank you. I can't remember the date.
Next weekend.
And it's beautiful in Chicago this time of year, and there'll be many wonderful presenters there. I believe I have 3 sessions. There's a 90-minute session and 2-hour sessions that I'll be sharing different aspects of my work. Then I will be launching the 2 books that we've just published. These 2. This one, finally, I have all the stuff that I teach in I Change Therapy in one place. This is my life's opus. And
awesome. I did share the name of those books here on Facebook and Rumble if anyone needs to know the titles.
Right. And right at this time, we have not released it for general sale. So if you want a signed copy, contact me directly. And I will sign it to you and mail it to you from our office. And at some point, we are in the process. It will be on Amazon, and you will not get a signed copy because I won't see it once we release it to have a third-party person take care of it. And this second one is a very important one. It's called The Critical Pre-Talk as a Crucial Conversation. I know it's a mouthful. I'm not entirely recovered from being an academic. But one of the most important things when we're doing a client session is to flush out what is it that is really troubling the client. I tell my clients, all clients lie, not because they're bad people, but because they haven't figured out what their truth is. It's our job to help them flush it out. And once you flush out what is the critical piece of their concern, then you're ready to do really good work, because once you get to the weakest link, you can help the client transmute that energy from fear into love, just like that, with the snap of your fingers. It's pretty amazing stuff.
So good. It's so good. What's your website real quick so we can have people be able to see all the things that you're doing and reach you?
Right. We have iHealthTherapySchool.com is one. My clinical site is iHealthTherapiesPlural.com.
Hypnotherapy.
You can just Google Dr. Kweethai, it will lead you to our website. So we have 3 websites. One is on my motivational speaking site, and then the school, and then the clinical site. But
I
you
imagine you're a
spell
fan.
my name, you will find me.
There's no one else like you. That is true. And I imagine you're a fantastic motivational speaker.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
And we have, I hope this is international. I have students from all over the world.
It is. It is.
Someone would please send me an email so that I can send it to my students where to find you.
Stay right here and we'll be able to discuss that with you after we close. We do need to say goodnight, Wanderers. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I hope you laughed as much as we did. That was unexpected and quite wonderful. Needed medicine, no doubt. Until next week, you all, we will see you. Be good to yourself and be good to each other. Good night, everyone.
Have a good one.
Good night. Thank you so much for having me. I just had a great time.